This is Professor McDonald, and this will be a course introduction video for Introduction to Criminal Justice for spring semester 2019. The course number is CRJ 2000-801. This is a three credit course. I just want to use this short video just to kind of introduce you to the course and some of the features. If you haven't taken a course online before, I provided information in the syllabus as to where you can go and access resources here at UNCP to make sure that you're able to be up and running as quickly as possible. If you have used Canvas and have taken online classes, then this will be nothing different than what you've used before. Just the content will be different because it's a different class. Now, again, I'm Professor Robert McDonald. Personal information relative to my background and to my office hours and my office location are included in the syllabus. So make sure you read that and check up on that. Since it's an online class, the best way to reach me is via email, but you can also call me and leave if I'm in class or if I'm not in my office. Just leave me a message and I will get back to you. Just tell me what you need and leave a phone number where I can get back to you some times that are good for you. I'm here to support you as best I can in this class. I want this to be a very positive learning experience for you. This class is designed for two reasons. Number one, it's a core class for those who are criminal justice majors. It's a course that's required. And some of you may not be criminal justice majors. You may just want to take this class because you're interested in the subject matter. It'll be very beneficial to you as well because it'll make you a much more informed citizen here in this country. Now, if you look at the screen, I'm using a software program called Open Broadcaster for this video. If you look at the screen, you'll see how I've kind of set the course up. This is the home screen. As you can see, you have week 1. I set the classes up by weeks. So you have week 1 through 16. This class starts on January the 7th and finishes up on April the 26th. That's the regular class session. Then we'll have our exam the following Monday and Tuesday. Again, everything is online. So if you look at week 1 here, your first assignment this week will be obviously to download the syllabus. And again, I break down everything by week. You'll see the syllabus is located here. You'll take your first quiz during week 1, so you have to get engaged very quickly. Hopefully by now you've already acquired the text, which is Criminal Justice Today, A Brief Introduction, 12th edition by Frank Schmoliger. Interestingly enough, he used to teach at this university up until, I think, the mid-1990s. Information on the text can be obtained at the bookstore, but also I've included the ISBN if you want to acquire your textbook from another source. I promise you, you need this textbook in this class to do well. You're not going to be able to take this class without the textbook. Now, as you look at the screen, again, you download the syllabus and read it. I want you to do that on day 1. You'll access your quizzes at this location. You have 2 places to access quizzes. You can click on quiz 1 here under the weekly module, or you can go over to assignments, and I'll do that real quick. And under assignments, you have the various quizzes and assignments that are located. I haven't totally populated the course as of yet, but I will in the near future. Let's go back to the home page. So if we click on syllabus, you have 2 options here. You can read the syllabus online, or what I recommend you do is you click here, you can download the syllabus and save it to your computer. The syllabus is your roadmap. It tells you what we're doing each week. It'll tell you what the requirements are. It's your responsibility as an online student to keep up with the requirements and the schedule. I highly recommend that you put together a personal schedule of key graded elements of this class. For each chapter in the textbook, I've also put together a PowerPoint I highly recommend you use these. They're a great review before you take the test or the quizzes. I've included a document that has some online testing tips. Also a written assignment rubric. It just kind of gives you some feedback on how, when I'm grading writing assignments, some of the things that I'm looking for relative to quality and impact on your grade. You'll also see each week for each chapter, not every chapter, for most chapters I've included some short film clips that support the chapter. For week one, and by the way, these are mandatory viewing because you will see questions from the film clips. So when you're watching these, take notes of key information that's in the film clip. I'm not going to ask you some nebulous comment that's made during a film, but key information from the clip that anybody that watched it and paid attention would be able to recall. So let's just click on that real quick. And in this case, you can watch it here just by clicking on this arrow, or if for some reason it doesn't download here and you can see it on the screen, just click here up at the top and that'll download it for you. You can right click it and open it up in a new window, whatever your preference is. It's a very interesting short film clip that is a great introduction to criminal justice. Let's go back to the home page real quick. Let me talk about some of the requirements in this class, and you'll get these when you download the syllabus. Just a real tip before I get into that. If you haven't taken an online class, let me just give you some information that's important. You have to stay up from week to week. If you miss a quiz, if you don't have a legitimate reason, which I explain in the syllabus, don't write me a week later and ask to take a makeup, because it's not going to happen. You have an obligation to know when things are scheduled. I do send reminders out for quizzes, and Canvas tells you when you're looking at the homepage, it'll tell you what's upcoming. But it is your responsibility to not miss quizzes. I keep my quizzes open for 48 hours. So most of them are on Friday and Saturday. So you'll have from 1 minute after midnight on Friday morning until Saturday at 11:59 p.m. So that should accommodate everybody's work schedule or personal schedule. In this class, we'll have 9 quizzes. Some of the quizzes only cover 1 chapter, and some of them cover 2 chapters, never more than that, to the best of my knowledge. I just have to double check that. The first couple are just going to cover 1 chapter. You'll also have 2 writing assignments in this class. One of them deals with the Uniform Crime Report, which is a statistical program maintained by the FBI, which you'll read about in Chapter 2. And I'm going to also do a tutorial video on this and provide specific information on how to access the data, but you'll be accessing criminal justice statistics on crimes such as murder, aggravated assault, rape. You'll get to pick the police department that you want to analyze, and you'll pull down that information and you'll provide a report to me based on what your analysis is. Do you see is crime going up? Is it going down? Just an opportunity to experience extracting data and how it's very useful to the criminal justice community. What you'll normally see, you can either access, like this first assignment on the Uniform Crime Report will open during week 2, and it'll be due at the end of week 3. So you have 2 weeks for this. You can access this in 2 locations, or again, you can go to assignments. If I can find it, there we go, assignments, and click on it. So let's go down, let's just look at the module here. We'll click on it. And what this will do is, to actually see the assignment, you'll click right here where you see my cursor, Uniform. You need to download that, and that gives you the questions and also tells you how to access the data. Okay? And then you will upload your answer. You'll write your answer in a Word document or a rich text format. I provide the writing instructions in the assignment itself. You'll actually upload your answer and your paper at this website. You always must upload your papers in Canvas. Do not email them to me. This is a VeriCite external tool. What this does is it detects plagiarism. So if you take somebody else's paper, or if you're working on a paper with somebody else, which you're never supposed to do, or if you plagiarize your work from somebody else's work, this website will warn me of that. So don't get involved in that, especially in a criminal justice class. I have absolutely no tolerance for dishonesty. Integrity is paramount in my classes. Okay, we'll go back to the home page. So you'll have that uniform crime report, and then later on in the semester, you're going to do a report, what we call a prosecution report. You'll download that the same way. It'll appear on week 6, but you'll have about 5 or 6 weeks to prepare this, and you're going to do a study on either a serial, a mass, or a spree murderer. So the assignment instructions will be contained, and we'll deal with that a little bit later. But everything you need to know is included in the assignment instructions that you'll download, and then again you'll upload your paper in the same manner that I just explained with the uniform crime report. Those are your major graded elements of the class. I do not use discussion boards except for during week 1. It's not a graded discussion board, but everybody in the class needs to go on. I'll open it up for 5 days and introduce yourself to the class. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what your major is, and why you're interested in criminal justice. If you do not participate in this discussion forum, I will deduct 5 points from your first quiz score. So everybody, this is a required element of the class. A little background on myself. I've been teaching here at the University of North Carolina at Pembroke in the Criminal Justice Department since fall semester 2010. I served in the Marine Corps as an officer many years ago. I spent 27 years in federal law enforcement with 2 different agencies as a criminal investigator and later as a manager. When I retired from federal law enforcement, I worked as a contract instructor for the Department of State's Anti-Terrorism Assistance Program, where I spent about 8 years working overseas and training law enforcement officers and government officials in counterterrorism intelligence and subjects of that matter. And I've detailed some of that in the syllabus. If you ever have any questions about career opportunities, that sort of thing, feel free to call on me. So anyway, that'll pretty much wrap up this quick introductory video. Again, make sure you stay up with the class, download that syllabus, make sure you get to your textbook. You got to start immediately because you're having a quiz your first week. If there's any questions about anything I've covered in this video, just contact me, send me an email or give me a call. Welcome to the class.